Time once again for On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, along with our producer Corey Marino. But the stars of our show are two gentlemen, icons in the world of football and entertainment. We're talking about number 78, Jackie Slater, the offensive lineman for 20 seasons with the Los Angeles Rams in the NFL Hall of Fame. We're talking about number 15, Vince Ferragamo from Super Bowl 14, one of the all-time great players, not only with the Cornhuskers, but with the Golden Bears, with Buffalo, with Green Bay. And the show is called On Point Live. Vince, Jackie, welcome to the show.
Good, Michael. Good to be here, buddy.
Good to be here, Michael. We're looking forward to getting you back, man. I hope you're feeling better.
I'm on the mend. I'm getting better, and we got a lot to talk about today. We got not only the wrap-up of football season, but we got these Olympics wrapping up at the same time. We haven't had a lot to talk about. And spring training getting ready to open up here, too. We got a lot of things here going on.
Milano Cortina, what a beautiful Olympics we've got with this snow skiing and downhill
curling
and bobsled.
Is that a beautiful area?
We got the Canadians trying to rig this curling events. We got a lot of stuff going on
Mike
here.
was playing about the curling.
Oh my goodness!
We got the curling. We'll get to curling here. Don't worry. We give it some time. But how is that area, that Cortina, Milan area? Is that a good place to vacation? Because it looks like it's really storming from sometimes there, Vince. It's
right now we're seeing some of the good weather they're having. It's cold, obviously, with all the snow, but up there in the Friuli, Venezia, Giulia, this whole area is beautiful with the Dolomites. Mike, they got great wine growing up there too. But right now it's just off season. But man, it is really hopping right now with all these Italians doing some great stuff in the Olympics, man. I'm telling you.
Some genius brought along Harmony Cheese to the Olympics, harmonycheese.com. And Jackie, if we would have known that, you and I would have gone over there.
We would have been in attendance for sure. Make no mistake about it. That cheese will make you travel the country.
Exactly. So all of you listening, go to harmonycheese.com and take a look to it. In fact, we'll show you some new packages they got out sometime during the show today. harmonycheese.com. Don't forget, when you check out, write down CRN Talk, 10% off your first order. And remember to check out our website, onpointlive.net. Subscribe to our live YouTube channel broadcast, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. Give us a like. Instagram, on.point.live. And email us, onpoint@crntalk.com. Onpoint@crntalk.com. We got a lot to talk about. Settle back, grab some cheese, maybe some of Vince's wine. It's On Point Live. We'll be back. Welcome back to On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, along with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater, getting our show ready to go for the week. And it's a big week because these guys, Vince and Jackie, are going to kind of give you their analysis of what's going on in the Olympics. It's been quite... I like it. I kind of like the Winter Olympics more so than the Summer Olympics. Let's start with you, Vince. You like wintertime better than the summer events?
Well, I would actually prefer the summer events because you got the field and track, and, basketball and baseball,
a lot of racing,
and soccer.
All right. Let's go to Jackie. Jackie, do you like the winter events better than the summer events?
I like I'm with Vince. I like the summer events because you get
Corey,
to see some true
Corey,
athletes.
You like the winter events better than the summer events?
I like the summer events as well.
Okay, I'm going to step out here and go back to Vince. What were you saying, Vince?
Well, no, but these Winter Olympics are exciting though to watch because alpine skiing to me has always been the great sport of the Winter Olympics. Who was it? The great speed skater Corey that we used to go down bobbing back
Apollo Uno.
I mean, they had some great skiers, and then we see what's happened this year with some unfortunate accidents that have happened on those slopes, and your lower extremities are under extreme stress when you're going down these hills. And when you talk about players like who's the girl that had an ACL tear?
Oh,
yeah, Lindsey Vonn.
Lindsey Vonn, unbelievable.
I mean, and then she has it a week before in the trials.
she tore her ACL.
Her ACL was gone.
And she put a brace on and assumed that she was going to be able to simulate what she had done in the past in some of her best years. I thought it was just, I felt so bad for her. But you know, it speaks volumes for that will to compete.
Right.
That's something inside of you that says you can do it. And, you know, you got to admire her for that. But, man, just the thought of her coming down those slopes with her knee basically blown out. No stability in it beyond that brace. It's just hard for me to fathom. It's just really difficult.
And then, Jackie, when you look at an event like the bobsled, don't you think of Cool Runnings with the Jamaican bobsled team? I mean, I had to see that film again the other night with my grandson and my granddaughter. It's just phenomenal script that's written, but it's an actual true story. How they came to the Olympics in Canada years ago, you know, and competed and could have won the gold medal, but hadn't it been for a lapse of the dang equipment.
They had some problems with their makeshift equipment and everything. Yeah. But you know, Vince, there's a couple of things that's going on. You got to watch it. It always seems to rear its ugly head. You know, when you look at Canada's curling team, you see them touching that curling stone with their fingers as they send it off, and you're not supposed to touch it. Nope. And it's being captured on camera right there that they're touching the curling stone as it leaves their last legal push. And you can
rake in front
you can
of
rake, but you can't touch
pillar.
it and guide it and steer it in the direction.
Right.
Now, another thing that has really been fun to me is the snowboarding, as I mentioned. Myles Garrett, the great pass rusher up there at Cleveland, his girlfriend
Chloe
just won a silver medal, so that was very interesting to me. Another thing that jumped out at me, Jordan Stoltz. He won the men's. He's a speed skater, Vince.
Yeah.
He won the men's 1,000. He won the men's 500. And the guy weighs 183 pounds, Vince. He's a sprinter.
Yeah.
And they showed his legs, his quadricep, next to Saquon Barkley, the 233-pound running back that we all know and seen so much over the last couple of years. This guy weighs 183 pounds, and his legs make Saquon Barkley legs look like they need to go to the gym.
Oh, come on.
I'm telling you, man, this guy is huge.
Well, this Jordan Stoltz family, though, Michael, you know, he started skating when he was 5 years old.
5 years old.
Okay, his dad made a track behind his home in Wisconsin, and they carved it out like a track that you'd go around, and he did that all those years growing up. So I give them a lot of credit. You know, that's a commitment.
It is.
I mean,
Vince,
and
I'm
it's
surprised.
a passion. He's
I'm
got a passion
surprised,
for it.
Vince, you did not bring up Francesca Lollobrigida. That's Gina's granddaughter?
Yeah.
Lollobrigida
skater,
family. Yeah, and Lisa Vitozzi, who the Italian woman that won the biathlon.
Yeah.
And that's, Jackie was mentioning that sport. Okay, Jackie, you know, they go cross country like 4 or 5 miles in the short race.
Right.
And the longer race go 7, 8, 9 miles.
Right.
And they shoot. They take a shot.
Then the beautiful thing about this, think about this now. All the training, I never ran much distance running, but when I did do distance running, it was a pain. It was a chore to get that done. Imagine yourself exerting yourself for over 10 or 15 or 20 minutes consecutive amount of time, exerting yourself, everything you've got, and then a big part of your score and your ability to be successful in this sport is to calm yourself down, take aim at 4 different targets, and be pinpoint accurate at that shooting. It speaks volumes for the mental control that these competitive athletes have over their own bodies, which is telling them to do everything opposed to what that particular situation calls for. And that is to calm yourself and be accurate with that rifle. That's an amazing athlete.
You got to kind of squeeze.
Amazing athlete.
And 5 bullets is all you got, right, on each one. And if you miss one, you got to take an extra lap.
Right. You can lose points if you're not accurate with the shooting.
And Mike, you're looking at the target, and every time she shoots, the gunshot is hitting right in the middle of the target.
Right.
I mean, it's perfect
It's
shots.
a
And she's not
competitive
losing
event.
any. She's not being penalized.
Competitive event for
my wife-
endurance and accuracy.
My wife Jody says she must be from Sicily, but she's not from Sicily. To shoot like that,
It's
you know, she's
unbelievable.
from Sappada,
Yes.
which is up by Friuli Venezia.
But what a sport.
Julia. And it
That's
was
been
like,
a fun sport
Does
for
that
me to
mean
keep up with.
shoe? Does Zapata mean shoe?
yes. Yes, it does.
It's good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So the biathlon unique, as you mentioned, Jackie, because it's probably one of the most demanding Olympic sports.
Right.
Because you got to do something rapidly. You got to, ski over. Then you got to lower your heart rate, as you mentioned. Because
Right.
You have to shoot accurately, and you got to keep the skis on. You just drop to the ground. I don't know if some of you missed that. It was quite exciting because they dropped to the ground. They got to shoot. They got 5 shots, and they got to get up and go do it all over again. So it's controlling breathing. It's controlling your inner fatigue, because otherwise, you go skiing. You sit there and your shot's gonna go all over the place.
All over the place. I can only imagine the control, the mental control to get your body calm enough to be accurate with that rifle after all of the work that you've done to beat everybody to that point. It's an amazing sport.
7.5 kilometers for women, 10 kilometers for men. Individual interval start every 30 seconds. Shooting, you got 2 stops, 5 targets each, 1 shot per target. So if you miss one, you do it, and if you miss it, you got to do a penalty lap per miss. And the lowest total time is your ski time plus your penalties. There you go, and it's. All that together makes it.
Listen to the details of that sport.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
And to get to that level too, Jackie. To get that gold medal win.
Right.
This is amazing.
And you're not going to see very many 300-pound people doing that sport.
No.
That's for sure.
But Jackie, we have
you.
to give a lot of credit to this one gal that was 41 years old, Ilana Myers-Taylor.
Oh, yes.
She won the bobsled, Jackie.
Yes.
She has 2 young children at home that she takes care of 24/7.
Right.
One is autistic, or he's mentally
Down
Downs,
syndrome.
and they're
person.
both deaf, both their young kids, and she's a full-time mom.
Right.
She's 41 years old and does this bobsled. And she's just got a commitment. She loved the support of the whole family and everyone.
She communicates with her kids through sign language.
Sign language, Jackie. And for her to go down that and then win that gold medal like she did,
It was amazing.
It gives you goosebumps.
It was heartwarming. It really was.
It's a beautiful story. I mean, that's the
just
story
think
about
it. The best in the world at that, while dealing with her children and all of their
what kind of
needs.
commitment and
It's
work ethic.
unbelievable
How
work
about the
ethic.
skating?
Unbelievable. And I can tell you this right now. Of the few men that I played with that were like her, they were the best players that I played with. Because there's something about people that have been able to commit themselves to something, to be really, really good at it when they got all a myriad of things going on in their
Got
lives,
a lot of respect
like
for those
she has.
people.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
You guys weren't into the skating then, were you?
I love the skating part too, Mike. I mean, there's some
That Ilya
great,
kid,
great things there, man.
He made a couple of flips and flops over there, but he was pretty confident in his first appearance for the Americans. It was quite some good events over there. It's much more exciting than I thought. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. The show is On Point Live, brought to you by HarmonyCheese.com. Some new cheese to show you today on the show. Don't forget to email us onpoint@crntalk.com. Again, that's onpoint@crntalk.com. When you check out from HarmonyCheese.com, say CRN Talk, 10% off. Welcome back to On Point Live with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. I'm Michael Horn with our producer, Corey Marino. We're all brought to you by HarmonyCheese.com. You want to talk about sports, you want to hear what's going on, make sure you have Harmony Cheese. We've celebrated Valentine's Day, Super Bowl Sunday, President's Day. Hey, St. Patrick's Day. Get some green cheese and let's get going with this. You got the 4th of July coming up. Or how about just every single night, start your meal off as Jackie Slater does when he took a refrigerator, put it in his house, and has it outfitted to look like a Harmony Cheese display. Jackie, tell them about it. You went to HarmonyCheese.com and picked up, I think this, Corey, do we have the picture of the new packaging of HarmonyCheese.com? And Jackie, you can talk about this because it is a fabulous idea.
It is, and you can thank my girl Bree for coming up with all these unique ideas of displaying and then matching the cheeses with certain sides that go along with it that complement these cheeses. And then Vince has added some of his wine, and they're coming up with some very unique packages that are going to be available to people. And I'm just so very, very fortunate because at this particular point in time, I'm getting all the free cheese that I can eat. And I don't let Vince off the hook for giving me
Vince
all
takes
the
his
free wine that I can have.
A lot of you don't know the true story. Vince has his own vineyard.
Yes.
And he makes his own wine. Tell
Yes.
everybody about your wine, Vince. We have the commercial here on the show. And Jackie, your school where you do training. But Vince, you have actually taken some of the Harmony cheese and started to package it with your wine packs. Am I right?
Yeah, we've talked about that, Mike, and we've started to put a little package together where the food and wine and cheese thing is with some crackers. It's a normal pairing.
Yes.
And right now in the middle of wine season, we're out there.
But Vince, it's not a normal pairing. This is unusual. It is very unusual that people who have a discerning taste for wine and then a discerning taste for cheese that can communicate with each other and then put the best packages together. That's the thing that I find most unique. Anybody can go to the store and buy cheese and wine, but things that complement each other so beautifully.
Right, and
Jackie,
that's the key.
If you have the Clarissa J from Ferragamo Vineyards, I notice you pop it, you taste it, and then you go to your display there in the refrigerator, and you may get a 6-pepper cheese. What's really going for you here recently?
Well,
you got
the
anything new?
thing that's going for me is their Abergele.
Yeah.
That's always going to be going for me because there's so many different things that you could do with that cheese, and including from breakfast to lunch to dinner, Vince.
Yep.
I mean, you can. There's a way you can put that cheese with chicken, and then put it in the oven and everything, and season it up, and then you can have rice with that, or you can have mashed potatoes with that. I mean, just your imagination. Whatever you imagine, your taste buds and your imaginations allows you to think there's a cheese for that. And Vince, I'm just enjoying it. I really am.
It's a food element, Jackie, that's added to the taste of food. Like you have mac and cheese, right? You have macaroni and cheese, and you can use different varieties of cheeses to put in with that. And my wife does a lot of the Italian cheeses with the Harmony cheese,
right,
and the cheddar, and you just combinations. But then at the end of the day, when you sit down to eat and you want to get something to drink with it and you want to marry the cheese with the food, then you want to pick the right type of wine or whatever you want to drink to go with the cheese.
I'm learning all this.
Food.
I'm learning all this because you and I are friends, and I know you have the vineyards, and we've met these beautiful wine people and beautiful cheese people in here. But I never really had a discernible palate. I either I liked it or I didn't. Right. But now these pairings, man, it's like a whole new area of sophistication for me relative to the way I eat.
Well, Mike knows too. You bring out the flavors of the food.
You do.
And that's what the wine does. It's a complement. It's like when you dress. You want to put the right color tie with your jacket and your shirt.
Right.
You want to do the right thing when you eat. And it just brings out the quality of the food that you're preparing.
It's fun to experiment, too, because sometimes it brings out different things for it. You smell the cheese, you smell the wine, you put it together, you taste it, and you make new experiences there. And the type of crackers you use. It's a fun party.
Yes.
And you have some people over, that's what you do. You put together, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, we got a fun party here in the NFL. Sorry to bring this up, but our producer, Corey, is apparently... Corey, you found this controversial... play now from Week 16. Those of you that haven't heard about this, the Rams had a 30-14 fourth quarter lead against the Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
And there was a 2-point attempt on a pass from Sam Darnold, initially ruled incomplete. And then over like a minute or more later, after teams lined up for the kickoff, Corey, the play was reviewed. Now, how come it was reviewed so late?
They were getting calls and people. They got a call from Ed Hawk, Terry McCauley actually, from the booth. And
wait. Getting calls? You're talking about the officials were getting calls? They don't get calls. They're locked into their booth in New York, and they got the guys on the fields with the headphones on. They're not. What do you mean they're taking calls? They're doing a talk show? What's going on?
I guess so. They're getting calls from people outside the NFL.
Who called them?
The Amazon,
McCauley,
the Amazon broadcast
video rules analyst.
Yeah, but this is the thing that bothers me. He's an analyst.
Yes.
For a different broadcast
Amazon.
entity.
Yeah, Amazon.
But the NFL already has in place the officiating crew
Yep.
that's managing this particular game. They got the officials that's doing the games. They got a guy over there on the sideline that's a backup in case one of these guys get hurt. They've got people in the booth sitting up there, and those people in the booth can also contact the people in New York to get clearance. Why are they allowing somebody to call in who is not a part of this group of people to call in with an opinion to change everything?
Well, Jackie, you got to go.
That's not.
You have to go to the top dog.
That's just like me or you.
So they go
calling
to
in,
Todd
man. Who's the top
Anderson.
dog?
He's the executive director of the NFL. Okay, so they went right to him. Terry McAulay, call him. Terry McAulay has experience refereeing in Super Bowls.
Yeah,
and
but he has no affiliation with this particular broadcast.
He's working
man.
for the broadcast team.
So what?
For Prime Video, who's televising the game on national television.
why didn't they
They
ask
pay
Al
the
Michaels?
NFL lots of money to get the rights
Of course.
to put this
But
game on
it's
TV.
not his job. That's
But-
not his job.
But
to do
there
what
are
he did.
so many podcasters that are out there that are disclaiming the fact that they said the right call doesn't mean anything. What do you mean it doesn't mean anything? The right call is where it needs to be. I don't care how they
Who says
arrive
what's
at
the
it,
right
Mike.
Call, though? What's
I
the
agree.
right call?
The right call
the
was
officials
the
make it.
pass was a lateral. It was a live football, and it was shown when you do the replay. Why wasn't, Jackie says the protocol, why wasn't someone reviewing it right there? Why did they have to wait a whole minute and a half
Why did
before
they have to have
had to
someone
review the play?
outside of their organized
They did,
protocols
and they got
to
it
call-
right. That's the bottom
Okay,
line. Because I couldn't move forward if it wasn't right.
They got it
I
right.
wouldn't believe the team who won. And if that play was a result, that play was only one play of many plays.
Right.
Okay, hold
That-
on one second. Let me ask you both here. You guys played many years in the NFL, Vince, you and Jackie. Did every official get every call right
No.
every time?
No.
You know? So where was this McAuliffe guy then? You know, it's like in a baseball game. If Dave Roberts didn't like the call, he'd say, well, look, my wife just called in. She saw the
Right.
pitch over there, and it's a
Right.
ball.
That's
And
what
the
I'm
guy
trying
goes,
to tell
"Oh,
Vince.
we
This
If
didn't
guy
it's
see
could've-
questionable,
this guy could've
just
been sitting
review
at
it
home.
on the video. That's all you have
This
to do.
guy could have been sitting home having hot dogs with
No,
his
he wasn't. He
kids.
was working on the
Exactly.
broadcast
It
team.
doesn't matter. He wasn't a part of the official process.
he
the
saw-
official process. The official
Al
process
Michaels is
has
there.
officiate
Al
guys doing the
Michaels.
game, guys on the sideline, guys in the booth that can call the league office with another guy that was watching the game, and then he's going to call and break all of this protocol.
Yeah.
That's
what
not
happens is-
that's
what
not
happens
the way
is
it's supposed to happen.
We're going to be on point here because Al Michaels can see this and he goes, okay, there's a call there, and let's go. And he's got his color commentator, and then they go and they have Florio here take a look at it, and he says, oh, yeah, it looks like this. But they're not calling into the booth to ask them what they think. But this guy, this Prime Video analyst, Mike Florio, he's got the cojones to go call into the booth and tell the guys what he thought. He needs to butt out of that because
I
that's
agree.
not his job.
That's not
and
his
if
job.
they get it right or wrong, it's on them.
Absolutely, Vince.
They look in New York. They look at the video replay, and it's evident that was a lateral pass.
Yeah, but you said they. They didn't do anything because a full minute had gone by. This guy was the one that called in.
Thank God he called in because
Okay,
it
well,
was reviewed. It should have
He's
been
not a
reviewed
part of
in
the
the
process.
beginning.
He's not a part of the process. That was not his job.
Doesn't
he
matter.
was not on that,
It
on
was
that team.
it was
The
recognized
people that
as
he-
a play that should be reviewed. They reviewed it and they overruled the call on the field. The call on the field, there was no whistle blown. They had to make a call. The call was an incomplete pass.
So what
okay, but
you're
when they
saying-
And we
reviewed
had
it, they
moved
found out
on.
it was incorrect.
We had moved on.
No,
When
you
they-
hadn't moved on. You
when
haven't
they
picked-
called
you
me
haven't
for
con- you haven't
holding, when they
conducted
called
the
me for
second
holding,
play.
and I was not holding, we moved on.
So you're
I
saying
can't go
this-
run out and tell the official, "Hey, man, I wasn't holding that time.
Well,
So
yeah,
it's
you
I
Terry-
was
could.
holding last time."
So Terry McAulay, you're telling me
Any scoring play is
was
is
the
always reviewed.
honorary. Terry McAulay was the
Yeah,
honorary
it's
official of
reviewed.
the game, right? Is that right, Terry McAulay? They hired him as the honorary official. Is that right?
He
No.
was the Prime Video
Rules
rules
analyst.
analyst.
Oh, he got him to
Rules
change
for-
it. He called in and got him to change it there. So he must
called
have been
Walt
the
Anderson.
honorary.
He was a friend of his.
That's not a normal operational protocol.
He went
man.
right to the top.
That's not a normal operational
I
protocol.
don't care. I mean,
He called in.
It should have been
That's
recognized.
a buddy
Someone who was doing the
tied.
video.
mutual
Game is
respect they
tied.
have for each other, and he called in outside of the operational protocol, and that was not the way it should have been done.
Good thing it was done because the correct call was made for that game. Because can you sleep at night knowing that you got by because you got a fake call?
Come on.
I
Game
mean,
is tied.
what kind of integrity
the Rams
is that?
lose home field
let's
advantage.
make the right call
They
and
should
move
have been
forward.
in the Super Bowl.
I'll tell you what.
All because this guy,
No.
McCauley, is the honorary official.
Cooper Cup.
Yeah.
They should have never traded Cooper Cup.
Oh my goodness.
So
I can't
Cooper
believe
Cup
it.
scored
maybe
the
put him
point
out there.
play to win it for
I
him.
can't believe
Let
it,
him
man.
make the calls. You know, he's on the
believe
same. He's on the
Cooper
Seattle.
Cup
calling
got him
all
in that
way.
position.
For all we know, he
We'll
could
have
have
to
been
finish.
sitting at
We're
home
on
drinking
point
wine.
here. On Point Live. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. We'll complete this when we come back. Stay with us. On Point Live. Check it out here. We'll be back. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. Thanks so much for joining us. Brought to you by HarmonyCheese.com.
Go.
And we're back with On Point Live. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater, brought to you by HarmonyCheese.com. We tasted some new cheeses this week. Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. There was they sent to us from HarmonyCheese.com the Farmhouse Cheddar. Now, Vince, you were talking all about that when the show started here.
Yeah, that had a honey glaze to it in the white cheddar. That was, what was the name of that, Corey? It was
Carrot Philly.
Carrot
Philly.
Carrot
Oh,
Philly.
it's delicious tea. Cheese.
Kind of a
Tasted it right before we came
We
out.
went through a
Jackie. It was
big
good.
piece of that before we came out.
that Care Philly
was really good.
had some honey in it, and it's named after Care Philly in Wales. Used to be a coal mining town, and it was a special cheese that kept the moisture out and everything. And then it got so popular, it went to England proper, and now is one of the big specialties here at Harmony Cheese. We have especially another. You love that 6-pepper cheese, Jackie Slater. They got the pepper jacked up cheese right now, and the Colby. How were those tasted?
The pepper jacked up was pretty good. In fact, I would recommend that, Vince, on some cheese toast. It was really, really, really good.
Yeah. Well, 6-pepper cheddar, they're all good.
Very good stuff. All right, let's talk a little coaching now. It seemed to me this year, since we're complaining about it and wiping things out here towards the end of the season, didn't it start sort of too soon to have coaches being talked to while the season was still going on and jumping ship going to some other team? I know it happened in college football, for gosh sakes, over there with the guys from Louisiana, and what's his face couldn't coach him, and he wanted to finish off his season with them, and they wouldn't allow him to do it. What's going on here now? Don't you have to ask permission to talk to coaches here, Vince?
Yeah, that was Lane Kiffin. That went
Lane
from
Kiffin,
Mississippi State to LSU. But in the NFL, Mike, there was 10 coaching changeovers. During the season, and the regular season had just finished. It was playoff time, and they were already hiring new coaches.
Right.
Well, 10 coaches were hired, and there were still teams, or 9 coaches were hired, and there were still teams playing all the way up until the Super Bowl. And I think it's a disadvantage. I think timing is a big issue here,
I think
Jackie.
it's huge.
Not one single African-American coach was hired. That's the Art Rooney rule. I think that was a little bit disarming because, as you look at the entire picture, you want to see what, in all fairness, is that the right thing? The Art Rooney rule means that you have to at least interview one of the African-American coaches.
Absolutely.
Okay. But I'm a firm believer in merit. And if you deserve to be the head coach, you have to be certainly qualified. In a lot of different areas.
Well, that's one of the problems I think that the Rooney rule is being met with, is that the assumption is that because none of the African-American candidates are being hired, that they are not qualified. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that that is the case. Some of the brightest minds that I've ever been around in pro football have been some of the African-American coaches, assistant coaches that I know. And the sad thing to me with these guys was their resolve was that they're never going to be a head coach. Now, going back to what you said about the hiring practices of the NFL, I agree with you 100%, Vince. I don't think that you should be knowing who it is that you're going to hire or reaching out and touching base with that particular guy until the official season is over. After the Super Bowl has been played, now all bets are off. You can go and start getting after guys. But it seems to me that these guys already know who they want to hire. Now, this one token African-American is what the Rooney Rule says. You have to interview at least one African-American guy before you make your official hiring. that is so easily to get around. You could call in an assistant right off of your current staff and interview him as a possible candidate for the head coach and satisfy the Rooney Rule. The commissioner himself has come out as of a month ago and he said the Rooney Rule is not working. It is not the way we want to do business. And I commend Roger Goodell for saying that because he knows he's got a league that is comprised of almost 80% African Americans. And for those players to look year in and year out and see a minimum amount of African American coaches being promoted to these positions, it's disheartening for some of them. And they can't understand why it is that none of the African American guys that they are interacting with, that they know of as coaches, are ever good enough to be head coaches in these NFL teams. So waiting and taking their time, rolling it all back, because it's also unfair. Think about this. Kubiak was calling the plays for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes.
And he was already given permission to go and interview. I think that Kubiak, there's a great possibility. We can't say that happened in this particular case because obviously they won the game, but there's a great possibility that one of the key ingredients to the success of your football team, the guy that's calling the offensive plays, the guy that's interacting with arguably the most important guy on the field, the quarterback, is also now being distracted by the possibility that he is a cherished commodity by several different NFL teams. That's a distraction in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a distraction. It was timing is a big issue there, Jackie. But I have a different opinion about head coaching in the NFL. Basically, the head coach is the role model. He is the exemplifier. He is the one that has to comprise collectively and acquire the best coaches he can to coach. And the coaches that win, coaches that win, have the best collective coaching ability, offensively and defensively. And in my estimation, sometimes an offensive coordinator can be paid higher than a head coach. So to me, I could care less about the head coach position. I want to have the team like Seattle did with Clint Kubiak. Why would you not rehire Clint Kubiak as their offensive coordinator? Oh, they want to pay you $15 million to go be a head coach. Pay him $15 million to stay in Seattle. They already have the collective compromise. They already have what they need, and they know
to
win. Okay, they've won with these guys. They know they have what they need. They don't need to go searching again. Now they have to start all over. And they're not going to be the same team.
Plus, if you wait till the end of the season, you're going to get a guy like a Mike Tomlin who's going to say, all right, I'm going to retire, maybe take the time off here for a season. Maybe he's not if he gets offered a job with another team. That's a pretty big name to have available there and not head coaching.
Right.
So you got that opportunity staring you in the face, and it's just not fair.
Right. Well, just like I recently said, Mike Tomlin, he understands the system. You don't be a head coach in the National Football League for as long as he has it with the success that he has not to have noticed the hiring patterns. He knew from the moment that he agreed to leave the Pittsburgh Steelers staff, he knew right then that all of the coaching positions for this year were going to be taken, and that's why his resolve is to take a year off and to look for head coaching opportunities in the future because he knows these jobs are going to be opened up.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. That's the way.
It's just a role model job. I mean, to be the head coach. But some guys are better assistant coaches than they are head coaches.
And they will never be good head coaches. One of the best pure assistant coaches that I've ever been around was Ernie Zampese. Ernie Zampese understood the modern day passing game as well as anyone. He passed it along to Mike Marks, who was a brilliant offensive coordinator. And I agree with you, Vince. If I am an owner of an NFL franchise, one of the things that I am going to consider is the state of my team and the way it's operating right now. Mm-hmm. I'll admit, every single team, every single year is different. The Rams are going to be a different football team this year than they were last year because they're going to be like we were. They're going to lose players. They're going to get some new players. So they're going to be a different team, different makeup, different chemistry altogether. But if you have the opportunity to keep that chemistry together by paying a little bit more money to your key position coaches, then why deny a team the opportunity to do that? That should be never a statement that says an offensive head coach should be making more money than an offensive coordinator who is brilliantly leading a football team to victories.
Let's look back at the college years in the past. All the great teams you had in Ohio State with Woody Hayes. All those years they stayed there. Bo Schembechler in Michigan. You had Ara Parseghian in Notre Dame. You had the SC coach,
McKay.
John McKay, all those years, they never dissipated their staff.
No.
Their staff stayed intact. They won year after
year after year.
That's football. Why is it today that everybody has to fragment and move on to different places? Once you have a good thing,
money.
Keep it.
Yeah, these coordinators think they can learn the Sean McVay method and go to another team and turn it into a winner. And a lot of
some have
cases
been
that
fairly
has happened.
successful doing it, Michael, but it's still you're losing.
There ain't no guarantee.
Yourself.
There ain't no guarantee that because you studied underneath a guy or worked with a guy that you have the same answers that that particular guy has.
Yeah.
That guy has a unique ability to pull the trigger on different situations to make uniqueness occur. There's no guarantee that the next person is going to be able to do that. You assume that because they've worked together for so long, and they're letting each other know exactly what's on each other's mind. But listen, Sean McVay, if you think for one moment that Sean McVay divulges every thought that he has relative to the success of his team to every guy on his coaching staff, you're out of your mind. Because if he did that, now he has no job. Now he can be replaced. Why would he do that? It's just human nature, and I never have felt that actually occurred. And I think guys get just enough information to feel like they understand, and then they're allowed to leave.
All right, let's look at the quarterback situation. Got just a few minutes left in this segment here, but it's a weak quarterback off season. You got the likes of Kyler Murray from Arizona available, Tua Tagovailoa from Miami available. Well, what do you think's going to be going on? Mark Willis, that's a top free agent in the secondary there. What's going to happen here, Jackie?
Well, in my opinion, people are going to have to make some decisions to either get younger guys or to get that guy perhaps that they've coveted because he brings a certain element and they think they can strengthen his weaknesses. Kyler Murray, for example. Kyler Murray is a guy that they gave a ton of money to when he was starting out with his athleticism, his ability to throw on the move, make big plays with his legs and everything. Now, all of a sudden, Kyler Murray gets nicked up a little bit, perhaps not moving around quite as well as he did, and he has problems seeing over his offensive line from the heart of the pocket. Anybody that would invest in Kyler Murray, they're having visions of days gone past, visions of him being able to do the things he did before, and that is an element that their team is missing and that he could bring that to the table. Make no mistake about it. Whenever these quarterbacks change, like the 21 different quarterbacks that I played with, Vince, when they came there, they were brought there because of their perceived strengths.
Well, let's keep in mind, too, don't underestimate – Mike, the age of some of these players, okay? Like you got Rodgers, you have Russell Wilson, you have Joe Flacco, you have Garoppolo. But they're aging. But, as we see in the Olympics, some 40-year-olds are winning gold medals. I think that today's game is a little different. I mean, obviously you don't have the same rules that you had years ago. But, let's not underestimate the age of players that would go from team to team. But there are some teams that need them. Miami needs a quarterback. The Jets need a quarterback. Vegas is going to draft Fernando Mendoza, so he's the best quarterback coming out of the draft. You got Arizona needs a quarterback, so we'll see.
One other thing that pops into my mind, when you think about Tua Tagovailoa, he has got guaranteed money coming to him. Some of that money will not have to be paid by anybody who picks him up. A portion of it will have to be paid by the team who considers him a guy that can help their team win. But then again, you got to roll the dice and think to yourself, this guy has been he's been in protocol for concussions more perhaps than any quarterback we've seen in the last 15 years.
You got to know when to call it quits too, Jackie.
Absolutely. But he's not going to walk away from the money that they owe him, that the system owes him. Yeah. He's going to keep trying to play.
Well, sure. If you can make it, stay with it.
It's going to be an interesting off-season, I'll tell you that. Don't forget to order up your HarmonyCheese.com. When you check out, say CRN Talk, get 10% off your first order. Again, that's our sponsor, Harmony, HARMONY, Cheese, CHEESE.com. Email us, OnPoint at CRNTalk.com with your questions, your comments, and so much more. OnPoint at CRNTalk.com. And check out our YouTube podcast. Just go to YouTube and check OnPoint Live with Vince and Jackie. Welcome back to On Point Live. Show is flowing by again this week, and I'll tell you, these guys really lay it out straight for you. I'm talking about Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo. You guys played with a lot of different coaches over there. You know, Mike Vrabel had an interesting way of endearing himself to the New England Patriots with washcloths. Vince, what'd you think about this?
I thought it was pretty ingenious method because he did this at the first day of training camp, Jack. He goes in there and he goes in the locker room after practice one day and he sees a bunch of dirty clothes and towels and stuff on the floor all thrown all over the place. Looked like a mess. So he's told everybody on the team, he says, look, he says, if you don't pick up your stuff and put it in the trash bin or put it in the dirty laundry bucket, you're going to get the same thing tomorrow.
To put on.
He says, you do what you do.
He took the washcloths, Jackie. He said,
what is that,
we're
Jack?
not going to
What message did that send to the team?
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable message, but you know, it's not. I think it's a good thing that he did that, but it's certainly not the first time I've heard that. I mean, I can go back as far as Chuck Knox walking through the locker room and doing the exact same thing. He was a master motivator of guys. I can remember George Allen, one of the great football coaches of my era that did the exact same thing. And it was just a common sense thing to do to make people be responsible for themselves. And, you know, when you think about it, if you have the ability to take a shower and then take a dirty towel and throw it on the floor and expect someone else to come and do that thinking that's their job, that's their job, you're a guy that needs to be motivated somehow. And that motivation comes from people like George Allen, people like John Robinson that I played for. It comes from them by simply making the statement that, hey, this is the kind of team that we are going to be. We're going to be responsible for our own actions, and you are going to do that or you won't be here.
It serves up respect, too, for these teams.
Absolutely.
Treat you how you treat the team. If
That's
you put
right.
the washcloths in the dirty washcloths, you'll have them clean. If not, I'm just going to throw them back in the clean bin and you're going to use them again. And by the way, yours was a nice washcloth, Vinny. I like using it again. So that's our show. If you miss anything, please order up some cheese at harmonycheese.com. It's delicious. It's wonderful. It's available anytime you need it, harmonycheese.com. Email us onpoint@crntalk.com. And as always, as we like to say here, because we get off in the various things over here, but the one thing we always say on the show, Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater.
What do we say, Jackie?
Is something very important.
Stay on point.